Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone. Welcome to my gift guide for 2024. The goal of this video is to send out to your loved ones that aren't hikers or backpackers and might not know what to get for all of us dirtbag hikers. For some of the regular listeners of the channel, there's probably some gear you've heard about already and some stuff I actually don't own because this gift guide is actually going to be for my friends and family as well. They're going to be able to use this video as a point of reference or some stuff I actually want. There's going to be a few things I'm going to be quite excited about to talk about because I don't actually own it and I want to get it at some point. The video will be broken up into different sections for different gift ideas, categories, so you'll be able to skip around with the timestamps linked down below. And for everything I talk about in this video, you'll be able to find a link for it down in the description. All right, let's get started. Up first, we have clothing. It's a true Christmas if someone doesn't receive socks for Christmas. Hikers actually love socks though, is the difference. A nice quality sock really helps with dealing with blisters while on trail. These particular pair of socks are by a company called Darn Tough. They just work great. They're a merino wool blend with polyester sock. They keep the smell down. I've gotten rid of all my regular cotton socks and just wear Darn Tough socks all the time. It just helps to keep my feet smell down. They're a little bit pricey for a pair of socks, but Darn Tough has a lifetime warranty. The thing is, I haven't needed to send them in yet. It's been about a year of using exclusively Darn Tough socks, and I haven't worn through any of them yet. And I would say that's pretty impressive for a pair of socks. A piece of gear that's very multi-purpose is a buff. Having a buff, you can turn it into a toque, a neck warmer, cover up your eyes when the sun's up late during the summer. Buffs are really nice. I just picked one up this year and I've really loved having one. I wish I picked up one years ago. There's a good chance your favorite hiker has one, but the cool thing with buffs, you can get them a lot of different colors and different color designs with them. Another pair of gloves. These gloves are Showa gloves. These gloves are for those really cold, rainy situations. These gloves are actually typically used by Japanese fishermen. You can find them in the bright blue version of it that some hikers use, but they're a nice lightweight pair of gloves with some fleece lining on the inside. The difference between these pair of gloves and the ones that the fishermen typically use is that the fishermen ones don't have this cuff at the end of them that you're able to use to keep snow and water out, and they're a little bit longer, and they're not a bright blue color. Obviously, you can tell by the tag, I just picked them up last week. I haven't got to try them out yet, but I'm pretty excited to try these guys out. Next piece of gear is a pair of socks I don't own. Really interested in is Farpoint Alpha Direct socks. Now, Alpha Direct is a super warm, breathable material, and it's really good at dealing with moisture. So having it on your feet at the end of the night when you hop in your sleep would be great for keeping your feet warm and drying out throughout the night. Shoes are a hard one to recommend, but I'm noticing it help with my stabilization in my feet just from wearing them every day, and that's barefoot shoes. These pair of barefoot shoes kind of look like your traditional skate shoe. It's what I like to wear every day, and I've had these pairs since March, and they're starting to get a little tired, but for only 50 or 40 bucks Canadian, they're holding up pretty well. And I'm noticing that I'm just way more conscious of where my feet are when the ground I'm stepping on when I walk about. And then when I switch over to my trail runners, I just feel super stable when I'm on the trail these days. And nice thing about barefoot shoes is that as long as you know the person's size, the shoes are quite wide in the toe box, so they'll be able to fit a wide range of feet. That's part of their design too. You want your shoes to be really wide for barefoot shoes. I don't personally have this, but my girlfriend does, and that's a pair of down pants. Paige swears by them just for how warm they are and nice and cozy when you get to camp. If you're looking at doing some winter camping, you need to get some insulation for your legs when you're around camp at night, and a pair of down pants would be really good. This pair from Nature Hike on Amazon right now is only like 60 bucks Canadian. That's crazy cheap for high quality down pants. They're incredibly light and super soft feeling. I don't own a pair, but I want a pair now after seeing Paige's pants. I'll be picking up a pair for this winter. Another gear that Paige has that's a really nice option is a sun hoodie from Outdoor Research. It's super thin, breathes nicely, and it's an SPF sun shirt. I personally have one from Amazon that's not an SPF sun shirt, but it's held up for years and it was only 20 bucks. I've had this particular one since 2021, and I've beaten it up and took it all over the world, but it just finally got its first rip a couple weeks ago after all these years. The last piece of gear is a pair of sunglasses from Ombraz. This is a little bit more of a pricey item, but I like these sunglasses because with the shock cord attached to them in the back. I haven't lost them yet, and I always lose my sunglasses. What happens is quite often when I'm wearing sunglasses, I take them on and off when I'm walking in and out of the forest while hiking, and I flick them up on top of my head, and then I'll forget about them later, and then rub my head, and whoop, and then they go flying down off. With the cord, I'm able to just drop them around my neck and just leave them down there. This is the first piece of gear that I've actually looked at myself and wanted, and actually had Ombraz reach out to me and send them to me. I've never had that before, and it was really cool when the first piece of gear actually had someone set out with something that I personally wanted. So with that being said, everything else in the video I've had to pay out of my own pocket, and that wraps it up for clothes. Well, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget a thumbs up, and now let's jump to the next topic. Okay, cooking stuff. A great thing you can buy for hikers is freeze-dried meals. It's something that we all go through quite a bit. towel's upside down. There we go. Freeze-dried meals. I personally like the stuff from Peak Refuel. It's really tasty and very filling for me. The chicken Alfredo pasta is one of the better ones, I think. It's the most nutritious ones for its weight. And I like the peaches and cream too for breakfast. Something a little bit lighter on my tummy. A little bit more of the pricier ones, but a lot more flavorful. Us backpackers go through this stuff all the time. So it's something that we definitely will appreciate. Next one up's a classic one for ultralight hikers, and that's the BRS stove. The stove's like $20, and these things just keep ticking along for years on end. I've had this one for multiple years at this point. For a $20 stove, it's the lightest one on the market, and they last for a long time. You just can't go wrong with the BRS. This is the one I want because I've lost it, and that's the Bic Mini lighter. This is a regular Bic lighter, but I can't find my Bic Mini lighters. People always lose lighters or hand them out to someone and you don't get it back. So someone could always use another Bic Mini lighters. Are great because they're a little bit smaller and they're lighter. For lighting your stove, instead of using a lighter, another really fun way to do it is with a ferro rod. I like having a ferro rod just because they're a fun thing to have. Toss some sparks on your stove and it's lit. Nice thing too is a little bit of redundancy in case you get your lighter wet or lose it. It's just something fun I like to have while I'm out backpacking. Got a couple products here from the company called GSI. Got the good old pot scraper from GSI. I use this thing to scrape out all the burnt, nasty stuff in my pot or skillet while I'm car camping. This thing's been through a lot of abuse over the last few years, but it's still holding up great. Another one from GSI, so I think it's Bugaboo frying pan. Nice lightweight frying pan that you can go toss a trout in if you catch we're out hiking. I like it if I want to cook something nice when I'm in the backcountry. Bust out the frying pan. Opens up the possibility of stuff you're able to eat while you're in the backcountry. A really cheap but useful gift is quick caps for a smart water bottle. A lot of hikers like to buy the 1 liter smart water bottles, but they just come with regular twist off cap. These sport water bottle caps or whatever they are, they last a long time, but you have to get them on the smaller 750 milliliter water bottle. So you can buy that, take it off, or you can buy these caps on the standalone. I think the water bottles with the quick caps are like $4, a little bit more money. It's cheaper just to buy the caps on their own. And that wraps it up for cooking related items. Okay, let's skip over to gear now. Well, my headlamp recently broke, so I'm in the market for buying a new headlamp, and Fenix makes a great headlamp that I'm actually looking at to replace. I like to do a lot of night hiking, and the winters are long here in Canada, so I want a good light that's going to last a long time. Fenix makes a bunch of really nice headlamps with an 18650 battery. 18650 batteries are a very popular rechargeable battery. I can't remember the exact model. I'll have to link it up above, the one that I'm looking at getting. It's a little bit pricier for a headlamp, but it's a really impressive stat is that it lasts at 400 lumens for 12 hours. Now that's at perfect operating temperatures. Most traditional backpacking headlamps only last for a couple hours, so if you're spending a lot of time in the dark, getting a good headlamp is a good way to go about things. Having a thermometer, that was probably sounded gross. Having a thermometer in the backcountry is a nice way for monitoring the temperatures out there and see how all your gear is performing while you're out in the backcountry. I personally have one from Gove. It records all my data. If you open up the app, it gives you a nice in-depth analysis of all your temperatures that the device was in, and it saves everything to the app for you. I got the combo pack so I could get multiple ones of it so I can monitor different temperatures. I've been a big fan of it personally. They're super water resistant too. I stick one on the roof of my car. So it's been surviving like 110 kilometer per hour winds for an extended period of time in pissing rain. That's impressive. There's also an ultra light version of thermometer I've been looking at. I don't personally have it, but it's super light. It just gives you the high and lows within the last 24-hour period. The ThermoWorks. I can see it in my head, but I can't remember what it's called. A fuel transfer valve is a really useful gift item because quite often we'll have a lot of different fuel canisters that are half full with only a little bit left in it, and we won't take it to the backcountry. Nice thing about with these fuel transfer valves, you can transfer fuel from one to the other, so you don't have a bunch of half-empty cans laying around. And what you can also do is buy these large fuel canisters. They're actually cheaper to buy in the long run, and you can just top it off into the smaller ones. Fuel transfer valve is something that every backpacker should have in their kit. Not necessarily when you're on trail, but when you're back at home. I talk about this pillow all the time. This pillow is from Mountain Equipment Co-op or Company. Ugh, I always get the name wrong. This pillow has a bunch of little foam pellets on the top, wrapped around a nice soft liner for it. A little bit thicker than most other backpacking pillows. You can get it in 3 different sizes, medium, large, and extra large. This one's the medium. I'm gonna pick up the extra large soon, just because I like this thing so much and I want to try the bigger one. This pillow's a little bit wider than most other ones. Perks about that is that you can always deflate a pillow to the thickness you want. You can't make it taller though by inflating it more. For those more comfy backpacking trips, having a chair is a really nice thing to add to your kit. This particular one I've had for a few years now, and I'm sitting on it while filming this video. Even though I have nice comfortable chairs around here, it's that comfy. I thought it would be a good chance to use it. I'm not getting off of it because it's comfy and I don't want to mess around with the camera, but yeah, for £2, and I've seen them online for $40, It's a killer deal. It seems like this chair is made by a bunch of different companies and just rebranded. You can basically choose by the price you want to pay for it or the color. They'll have it in different colors in the store and they all feel the same. If you want to add a little bit of warmth to your sleep installation, like your sleeping bag or sleeping quilt, a liner is a great way to do that. I personally have one from Sea to Summit I've been using for years, and it adds a little bit more warmth to my sleep system. It really came in handy this past February when I was down in New Zealand. It's their summer during February, and I was expecting to get nice summer conditions, but unfortunately, one night it dipped way below freezing, and I was only using a 5-degree, 4-degree sleeping quilt. And having that sleep liner really helped me stay comfortable. I was actually able to sleep through the night when I woke up with a bunch of frost everywhere. Another piece of gear that's a little bit more of a fun one is if you want to have any campfires, you want to have a little backcountry saw with you. Suluk 46 makes a saw that I'm eyeing up. It's a nice lightweight option made by a Canadian guy. And I'd like to pick up one, but they're a little bit more on the pricey end, but it's a really nice saw. From what I've heard online, it's going to last you a long time and hold up well to all your abuse. On to the next one, and we got funny gifts, but functional gifts. Now, this next gift has been, next gift could be a little bit dangerous, and that's a backcountry bidet. Using a backcountry bidet is a good way to clean up yourself down there after doing the business. I've tried it out at home, but I haven't tried it on trail yet. With that being said, it's a little bit cold for me and I'm a bit nervous to use it, but it'll help with keeping things nice and clean down there. If you're feeling a little adventurous, it's a good way to save some weight because you don't need to pack toilet paper with you. As I'm saying that out loud, I'm realizing that toilet paper is super light, so yeah. And when you're doing the business, pick up a trowel for someone to help dig everything out. I've been using a trekking pole for years and it's getting pretty lame. I think it's time for me to get a little trowel to start digging out cat holes when I go. And this other thing I've seen online, it's hilarious, is a little poop emoji bag so you can stick your trowel and your bidet in. That helps keep your number 2 business nice and all together so you don't mix up everything. And you don't have to go digging through your bag. You just have your little poop emoji bag and whip that thing out. I think it's hilarious. Next funny gift for someone that's actually very functional is a fishnet base layer. They look absolutely ridiculous. They're see-through. But the nice thing about them is that they retain a lot of heat and breathe well and help keep moisture coming off of you. With traditional base layer, people want something that's going to wick moisture, but wicking doesn't necessarily work in the way that you'd think about it. If you want something to wick moisture, the best thing for that is going to be cotton, because cotton's going to sponge everything and wick it away from you. What you want to do is with moisture is you want to transfer it away from your body. So having a warm base layer made of a mesh material helps shoot all the moisture off of your body out into the next layer above to get it off your body. Another one of the gift items I don't personally have, but I think it'd be really great. I'll be picking up some base layers made of fishnet material coming up this winter. I only found a couple funny gifts for backpackers, but I think these ones are good ones if you want to get someone a funny gift. 4 o'clock and it's already getting dark. I had to turn up the brightness. Canada in the winter. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe. Got some Canadian winter camping coming up soon. We just got a bunch of snow and it's time to hit the mountains pretty quick here. Okay, we got stocking stuffers coming up next. After a long day on trail, you can get really stiff sometimes. Having a little way to massage yourself and loosen up all those tight muscles is really nice. Cork foam ball from Rawology, great way to really dig into those tight areas and loosen everything up. From back in my athletic days, I used to use a lacrosse ball all the time to help loosen up everything in my back when things got tight. So having this ultralight version of it, what I can bring with me while I'm out hiking, is pretty nice. When it gets cold out during winter time, your toothpaste can freeze, so a good way to solve that is toothpaste tabs. Just toss them in your mouth and chew them up a little bit and they turn into toothpaste right away. Now you don't have to worry about your toothpaste freezing, and you know out in the backcountry you can bring exactly how much you need and you don't have all this excess weight sitting in your backpack. A Swedish cloth is a really good way to dry out your tent in the morning. After sleeping in your tent in the morning, quite often you're gonna get a lot of condensation inside your tent, so having a Swedish cloth is a good way to dry it out so you're not carrying excess water weight with you. Speaking of tents, some campsites have wooden platforms and they can make it a little difficult to set up your tent, especially if you have a freestanding tent like I do with my X-Mid. Good solution for that are these tent anchors I've just found recently online. You can put them in between the slats and have the spring hold tension on there for you. So you can stake out your tent on wooden platforms by putting the anchors in between the slots and letting the springs tension hold it down for you. Having a power bank is really nice to have in the backcountry so you're able to recharge your phone when you're on those multi-day trips. I personally use power banks from Anker. My 20,000 milliamp hour battery bank I've had for 4 years now, and it still charges my phone 3 or 4 charges, I believe. It does pretty good. Get a 10,000 or a 20,000 milliamp hour battery banks. The nice thing about the 10,000 milliamp hour one is it's a little bit cheaper and it's lighter. And unless you're going to the backcountry for like a week plus or have multiple electronics, the 10,000 milliamp hour is going to be good enough for most hikers. During the summertime, if you like swimming, having a quick dry towel is really nice to have. That little Swedish cloth you have for your tent probably isn't going to be very comfortable or big enough once you cut it down. I have this particular towel from Sea to Summit I've used for multiple years. It's not the most comfortable like a regular towel to dry yourself off. You kind of just have to press and hold it against you, but I used one all throughout my trip in New Zealand, even when we just go to the gym afterwards to dry off. Lightweight, they dry really quick. You know, you go for a swim while you're out in the backcountry, it's nice to have just to dry off a little bit faster, especially if it's a little chilly and you're doing a polar dip. Mosquito head nets are really nice to have during bug season. That way next to nothing. You can get this ultralight one that I have from Sea to Summit. It was only like 15 bucks or something, and a lot of mosquitoes around or horse flies, they suck when they land on your face. For the most part, you can just cover up and you don't have to worry about putting any nasty bug spray on. That's what I like to do these days. If you're in a place where you're allowed to have campfires, they're always nice to have, but getting them started can be a bit of a pain. So having little fire starters is really nice. It could really save your butt if you ever get into a sketchy situation where you need to start a fire to help stay warm. These little pellet style wax rolls are nice to have. The more you unroll them, the longer they'll burn, or if you just leave them rolled up, they'll burn really hot and quick. Last up for stocking stuffers is consumables. There's some stuff that we just go through quite a bit as hikers. We go through fuel, food, electrolytes, tent stakes. There's a bunch of stuff that breaks or we just go through all the time that are just end up being consumables. Next couple categories are a little bit different than just traditional backpacking gear, but it's stuff I'm looking at and I'm going to bring with me while backpacking. So up for a really cool gift, it's a little bit more pricey, and now that's going to be a pack raft. Pack rafts are pretty expensive, but they just open up a whole world of possibilities of different trips you can do, or just add more depth to your trips. Be able to go through, if you hike up a river, then you can just float down it. You're at a cool lake and you want to see what's on the other side, blow it up and go for a paddle across. And there's certain trips where they actually require you to have a pack raft because there might not actually be any trail linking it up. They are very expensive, but I have a good alternative for that someone would actually have a lot of fun with, and that's a DIY pack raft. Now for roughly a third the price of a regular pack raft, you can just heat weld everything together and build yourself your own. If you want to get someone a nice gift that's a little bit more money, it'd be a really fun project for someone to build it out for themselves. You kind of can spec it out for different options of it. I recommend getting this version with this zipper with it. The zipper, you can toss stuff inside the pack when you want to do water crossings and bring it with you. This particular version of the pack raft has a little bit thicker of a bottom floor. It's very similar to the popular Alpaca Caribou, except the bottom isn't as tough as that one, but I feel like when you're building a raft for yourself, you probably want to do any crazy whitewater rafts. Anyways, some other unique gifts that could be fun for someone is getting someone a fishing setup. I just got into fly fishing this year, and when I didn't realize that all these lakes and rivers I'm headed to are full of fish inside of them. It just adds another depth to backpacking that makes it a lot more fun when you're out there, and it opens up a whole bunch of different new trips for me of places I want to head to now, because there could be some really good fishing at these remote places. When you're out in the middle of nowhere, chances are no one else is out there fishing too, so you're able to get some nice-sized fish in the rivers. Okay, cameras. So for most people, having a smartphone is going to be a good enough device for them. Smartphones nowadays take amazing photos, but if you want to take it to the next level, you probably want to get a standalone camera. All cameras these days are amazing, but one thing that differentiates all the companies are the lenses that are available for it. I recommend going with Sony cameras just because they've offered third-party lenses for the longest, and you can get some very light setups with it. Plus, it's a series of cameras that you can really grow into throughout the years. My friend Tyson recently picked up an A6700 camera used online. Finding used cameras is a good option too. Pretty easy to tell if there's something wrong with it from just turning it on and taking a photo and looking at the back of it. A couple quick accessories that I love a lot. That's a Peak Design capture clip. When you're out backpacking, you want to be able to grab your camera as you're hiking along and you see some cool wildlife. Be able to dangle your camera on your shoulder strap is very nice to be able to do. I've had mine for 4 years. I thought it was going to be a little gimmicky, but I've been using it for this long. If you're concerned about rain, you can pick up the Hyperlite camera pod. I'll be picking that one up coming up this year. It really sucks for me when I have my camera on the capture clip and I need to stick in my backpack. So having a camera pod, you can leave it in there while it's raining and you have to put your camera away. And the last little piece of camera item I think that can really level up your photos is a circular polarizer. Having a polarizer lets you adjust the glare that you see, so it makes your greens more lush, or you can see more through the water. It just makes everything a lot more vibrant. A circular polarizer is only an effect you can't do from editing. Like I said, I have links for everything down in the description. Go check it out. Okay, it's getting dark, so it's time to wrap up this video. If you think this gear is pretty cool, I got some more gear over here of my favorite backpacking gear that I've been using for years.